What's going on, everyone? Today, we're comparing two of the greatest slashers in horror history. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 3 versus Michael Myers from Halloween 1978. This isn't about popularity or who has the better movie. It's about who is superior in different categories like strength, durability, intelligence, experience, weapons, feats, and more. I'll explain why each category goes to the character I chose, and at the end, I'll decide who wins overall. Let's get started. The first category is lifting strength, and this goes to Jason. Throughout Friday the 13th Part 3, Jason repeatedly demonstrates incredible physical power. He effortlessly throws people around, overpowers nearly everyone he encounters, and manhandles victims much larger than himself. His strength is consistently shown as being beyond what any normal human could achieve. Michael Myers is certainly strong. In Halloween 1978, he lifts Bob with one hand after stabbing him, which is one of the most iconic strength feats in horror. It's an impressive display and proves Michael possesses superhuman strength. However, Jason's feats are more consistent throughout his film. Nearly every confrontation ends with Jason completely overpowering his victims through brute force. His raw lifting ability is on another level. Winner, Jason. Next is striking strength, and this also goes to Jason. Jason's attacks are devastating. Whether he's punching, throwing, or using blunt force, every hit has tremendous impact. His blows send victims flying, knock doors open, and leave almost no chance for someone to recover. His greatest striking strength feat is slicing Andy vertically in half. Winner, Jason. So, after the first two categories, Jason takes an early lead with his overwhelming physical strength. But Michael still has several categories where he can fight back, especially when we get into durability, IQ, stealth, and potential. The next category is overall physical strength, and once again, this goes to Jason. Physical strength isn't just about lifting, it's about how much force a character can generate in every aspect of combat. Jason dominates this category because nearly every kill in Friday the 13th Part 3 showcases his overwhelming power. He throws victims across rooms and was able to crush Rick's head, overpowers anyone who tries to fight back, and makes every attack look effortless. Even when people struggle against him, Jason barely seems to notice. Michael Myers is undoubtedly superhuman. He easily overpowers most of his victims and has enough strength to crush someone's throat with one hand. But compared to Jason, Michael's strength is portrayed in a more controlled and realistic way. Jason's brute force is simply greater. Winner, Jason. Now, we move on to durability, and this is the first category that goes to Michael Myers. Throughout Halloween 1978, Michael survives an incredible amount of punishment. He's stabbed multiple times, including in the neck and chest, shot several times by Dr. Loomis, and falls from a second-story balcony. When Loomis looks over the balcony, Michael is gone. Despite all of that damage, Michael survives and escapes, reinforcing the idea that he's something beyond an ordinary human. Jason is also very durable in Part 3, taking punches, kicks, and other attacks without slowing down much. However, Michael endures more severe punishment in his original film and keeps coming. If we're talking specifically about piercing durability, though, I give this category to Jason. Jason continues fighting after taking cuts, axe wounds, and other injuries that would stop most people. He rarely reacts to pain and continues chasing his victims relentlessly. Michael survives multiple stab wounds, but he generally reacts more noticeably to them. Jason's resistance to cutting and piercing attacks is stronger. Blunt durability goes to Michael. Piercing durability goes to Jason. Next is endurance. Endurance is about how long someone can continue fighting despite exhaustion or injury. Jason relentlessly pursues his victims throughout the film. He never appears tired, never gives up, and keeps hunting until the very end. Michael also stalks Laurie for a long period of time, but Jason's relentless pursuit across multiple encounters gives him the edge. His determination is almost unstoppable. Winner, Jason. The final category for this section is stamina. Jason spends virtually the entire movie hunting people through the woods, around Higgins Haven, and inside buildings without ever showing signs of fatigue. No matter how much distance he covers or how many people he fights, his pace never changes. Michael also has excellent stamina, but Jason's relentless pursuit lasts longer and involves more physical activity. Jason simply keeps going. Winner, Jason. So after these categories, Jason continues building a strong lead thanks to his superior strength, endurance, and stamina. Michael gets his first point by taking overall durability, but Jason immediately answers back by winning piercing durability. Now, let's talk about experience. This category goes to Jason. By the events of Friday the 13th Part 3, Jason has already been killing for years around Crystal Lake. He's hunted numerous victims, avoided capture, survived dangerous encounters, and become a master at stalking anyone who enters his territory. Every victim teaches Jason something new, making him an even deadlier hunter. Michael Myers has experience as well. He murdered his sister as a child and returned years later to stalk and kill in Haddonfield. However, Michael's confirmed experience in the original 1978 film is much more limited compared to Jason's history, but Michael was also in a mental hospital for 20 years, which is why Jason gets experience. Battle experience also goes to Jason. Jason has fought victims who punched him, kicked him, attacked him with weapons, and even tried to trap him. Instead of panicking, Jason adapts and continues fighting. Michael mostly fights frightened teenagers and Dr. Loomis, relying more on surprise than prolonged confrontations. Jason has simply been through more physical battles. Next is skills. Jason is much more than a mindless brute. He tracks people through the woods, uses the environment to his advantage, sneaks up on victims without being noticed, and efficiently uses whatever weapon he has available. His ability to hunt and eliminate multiple people in different situations demonstrates excellent survival and hunting skills. Michael is a skilled stalker, but Jason shows a wider variety of practical skills. Winner, Jason. For those categories. Combat Jason. Combat also goes to Jason. Jason is comfortable fighting at close range using his fists or weapons. He quickly overpowers anyone who resists and rarely loses control during a confrontation. Michael is dangerous in close quarters, but his fighting style is much simpler, relying heavily on grabs, stabbing, and intimidation. Jason has the more complete combat style. Winner, Jason. Now we come to IQ. And this is where Michael finally takes another category. Michael is extremely intelligent. He plans his attacks, studies his victims, steals vehicles, escapes difficult situations, and patiently waits for the perfect opportunity to strike. He understands fear and uses it to mentally break his victims before attacking. Jason is clever, but Michael's planning and patience give him the edge in overall intelligence. Winner, Michael Myers. The final category in this section is battle IQ and knowledge. This goes back to Jason. Jason has extensive knowledge of Crystal Lake and Higgins Haven. He knows how people move through the area, where to hide, and when to attack. During fights, Jason quickly reacts to danger and continues adapting even after taking damage. Michael is intelligent, but Jason's battlefield awareness and hunting instincts are superior. Winner, Jason. At this point in the debate, Jason has established a commanding lead. Michael has earned points with overall durability and IQ, but Jason continues to dominate most of the physical and combat-related categories thanks to his overwhelming strength, experience, and effectiveness as a killer. Now, we're getting into hacks, and this category goes to Michael Myers. Hacks refers to unusual or hard-to-explain abilities that give a character an advantage outside of raw strength. Throughout Halloween 1978, Michael repeatedly does things that seem almost supernatural. He disappears within seconds after being seen, silently appears behind his victims without making a sound, and somehow survives injuries that should have killed any normal person. Dr. Loomis even describes Michael as pure evil, suggesting there's something unnatural about him. While Jason is incredibly powerful, Part 3 doesn't show as many mysterious abilities as Michael displays in the original Halloween. Winner, Michael Myers. When it comes to overall abilities, Jason takes the win. Jason combines his incredible strength with excellent tracking, relentless pursuit, stealth when necessary, weapon mastery, and survival skills. He can hunt victims through the woods, adapt to different environments, and use almost anything as a weapon. Jason's complete skill set makes him a more versatile killer. Winner, Jason. The next category is feats. Jason has the better overall feats. Throughout Friday the 13th Part 3, Jason tears through an entire group of victims using different methods, overpowers anyone who challenges him, and survives numerous attacks before finally being stopped. Some of his best feats: crushing Rick's head, slicing Andy in half, and many more. His strength, endurance, and effectiveness are consistently displayed from beginning to end. Michael has amazing feats in Halloween 1978, especially surviving multiple stab wounds, 6 gunshots, and a second-story fall. Those are incredible durability feats, but Jason's overall collection of physical feats is more impressive. Winner, Jason. Stealth goes to Michael Myers. This is one of Michael's greatest strengths. He quietly watches his victims from a distance, disappears without warning, and somehow appears exactly where he wants to be. His silent stalking creates constant fear long before he attacks. Jason can also sneak up on people surprisingly well, but Michael is the better stalker. His stealth is legendary. Winner, Michael Myers. The next category is weapons. This one goes to Michael. Michael's signature kitchen knife is simple, but he also demonstrates the ability to effectively use ropes, tools, and whatever weapon is available. His precision with a knife is one of the reasons he's so dangerous. Jason uses several different weapons in Part 3, but if we're comparing your list, Michael takes this category. Winner, Michael Myers. Potential also goes to Michael Myers. The original 1978 film leaves many mysteries unanswered. His supernatural nature is never fully explained, leaving open the possibility that he's capable of much more than what we actually see. Jason is already an incredibly powerful killer in Part 3, but Michael's mysterious nature gives him greater unexplored potential. The final category is speed and agility, and this goes to Jason. Jason is much faster than people give him credit for in Friday the 13th Part 3. Unlike Michael Myers in Halloween 1978, Jason is capable of running and sprinting when he needs to close the distance between himself and his victims. That gives him a major advantage in a chase or direct confrontation. Jason also displays impressive agility throughout the film. He climbs to the top floor of the Higgins Haven barn with ease and later jumps from the upper level without hesitation, showing excellent balance, mobility, and athleticism despite his large size. During the final confrontation with Chris, Jason reacts to multiple knife attacks, avoiding or minimizing several of them while continuing to pressure her. He also avoids being hit by a moving van, showing quick reflexes and awareness in the middle of combat. Michael Myers is not slow by normal human standards, but in the original Halloween, he relies almost entirely on walking. His relentless pace is intimidating, but he rarely demonstrates the running speed, agility, or athletic movements that Jason shows in Part 3. Jason's combination of sprinting ability, climbing skill, jumping, and combat reflexes clearly gives him the advantage in this category. After comparing every category, here's the final score. Jason wins lifting strength, striking strength, physical strength, piercing durability, endurance, stamina, experience, battle experience, skills, combat, battle IQ, abilities, and feats. Michael wins durability, IQ, hacks, stealth, weapons, and potential. While Michael is smarter, stealthier, and arguably more mysterious, Jason dominates the categories that matter most in a direct fight. His overwhelming strength, superior endurance, greater combat ability, and stronger physical feats give him the advantage. Michael would definitely make Jason work for the victory, but he simply doesn't have enough physical advantages to consistently defeat him. Final verdict. Winner, Jason Voorhees. Part 3. Difficulty, mid-diff. Jason's superior strength, experience, endurance, and combat effectiveness ultimately overpower Michael Myers. Michael puts up a respectable fight with his intelligence, stealth, and incredible durability, but in the end, Jason is simply too much to handle. If you enjoyed this comparison, let me know who you want me to compare next. If you disagree with any of my category winners, tell me why in the comments. I always enjoy hearing different opinions and debating horror matchups. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next horror debate. Until then, stay safe, and stay out of the woods.